Hey everybody, welcome to Into the Inferno, Season 1, Episode 1. I'm Sky Strickland. I am with the Circle City Inferno. I am joined by the illustrious Patrick Smith, Lucha.
Vamos!
And Juan Sapero, the heartbeat of the Inferno.
What up, what up?
And we are here today with Into the Inferno, the #1 podcast covering Dothan United SC soccer. And so we wanted to create this podcast to talk a little bit about our team, our club for our city, Dothan United SC. So we're here today because, we're part of the Circle City Inferno, which is the supporters group for Dothan United SC. Supporters group is a group of fans who come together who want to promote engagement, inclusivity, and just overall, we want to enjoy sports. We want to enjoy soccer, and we want to help our team succeed on and off the pitch. And so we created the Circle City Inferno a while back, and it's been growing ever since. And for some reason, we decided to start a podcast.
Yeah.
So here we are. So the way that the Circle City Inferno kind of started was nothing more than a pipe dream. A lot of us ended up meeting up and deciding, hey, we want to do something cool for our club like what we've seen in other cities. Because, a lot of us got tired of driving like 3 hours just to go watch sports. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over. Done.
Yeah.
3.5 hours to Atlanta.
No, thank you.
3.5 hours to Birmingham.
No, thank you.
If you want to go see AFC Mobile, there's 3.5 hours west.
Boo.
Yeah.
So, it's much better now. We
Yeah.
just drive 10 minutes.
And I don't know about you guys, but, I'm kind of different with the way I view sports now. I recently went to an Atlanta game, and it doesn't hit the same. It really doesn't.
It's not home.
It's not home.
I mean, Atlanta's great, does a lot for all
Yeah.
of us, but got some good memories there.
Oh,
Yeah.
But it's not our home team.
It's not our club.
No.
But anyways, the Inferno is the supporters group. We're the ones that you see at every match. We're always banging drums, doing chants. You can't wait. I know you can't
Dude,
wait, Juan.
It's all I get excited
Waving flags, wearing crazy luchador masks, and shouting in a megaphone.
I mean, can we talk about how awesome this past summer was?
Oh, my God.
Dude.
This has been nothing short of a magical season, this last season. I don't know. What do you guys think is the biggest takeaway from last season?
Community. Just like coming together, everyone from all different walks of life, cheering for one team,
Yeah.
Yeah.
one club.
Yeah, this is, I wouldn't say our area is not a soccer area, but,
We got work to do.
this whole thing was just a test, and it took off like nobody ever thought. I don't even think Steve thought it would take off the way it did year one.
No.
Yeah.
We had, over 5,000, maybe 6,000 the last game of the season show up.
I heard it was close to 7,000.
So, everybody
Wow.
came together in a place that's not known for soccer and
Yeah.
showed up and showed out. So community is exactly what I would go with too. It's perfect example.
Yeah, and that kind of ties into what I was going to say was the attendance numbers. I mean, if you look at that last game of the season, they were trying to postpone the match by a few minutes because we had so many people
So many
waiting
people.
outside the
Yeah.
gates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. And, whenever we've talked to Steve and Eric and the whole team, they're saying that our ticket sale trajectory is up than where we were last season.
That's so awesome.
That's crazy. They're opening up the other side of the stadium. Could we set a USL2 attendance record this year?
Without a doubt.
Let's go for it. I mean,
Let's
why
do
not?
it.
Yeah.
But
Come, join us.
yeah, come join us. Come exclusively to the supporters section. We want to have it overfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right
mean,
word.
Right, yeah. I mean, it'd be awesome to have to turn away people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry, you have to go to the other side because we're so full.
We'll have to double the supporter section.
Yeah.
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 But come join us if you're at a match. You know, I know one comment that I've gotten from a lot of people who I've talked to about the Circle City Inferno is they're like, oh yeah, you guys are great. We see you at every match. We just let you do your own thing. No, we don't want that.
No. Yeah.
Like, we want you to come join us. Everybody is welcome. Everybody should come join. You know, it's a lot of fun. We have tailgates at every match. You know, we go there, we march in, we do our chants, we wave our flags, we beat on our drums as hard as we can, and we are there from the minute it starts to well after it ends.
And you know what? It's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's awesome. Like,
it's the most fun you can have in that stadium, not being on the pitch.
Yeah.
And
it
really
just
is.
like, you have no worries. I mean, other than, you know, if our team's going to do good or not, or I keep saying team, y'all know team, you know what I mean, club. Yeah. But, yeah, it's like no worries. Just, you know, watch our club and have fun cheering and, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like, I hate to say it. I know I'm a bit obsessive. You'll learn that about me. I'm a bit obsessive, but, like, literally the entire offseason, all I've been thinking about is getting back to that stadium. Like, I cannot wait.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that? You hear that? I can't wait.
Vamos, 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 DHN. Anyways, yeah, we're really excited. You know, we try and do a lot for the team, and, you know, we hope that we can make some sort of effect on the pitch. And we've heard that, you know, it does help, because they've heard where there's like 5 people in the stands. We're not naming any teams in particular because, you know, we'll get to that during the season. But, you know, we have really good attendance and we have a really good fan base. I mean, you really can't ask for better than what we've got. People show up, they show out, they're passionate, and they are ready for next season.
You've had so many people that I've heard from, both during the season and after the season, saying, man, y'all are what brings life to these games. We pay for center pitch tickets, but we come down to y'all's section because that's where it's at.
Yeah.
And we've heard, you know, from the players and the coaches, you know, how much of an impact we actually have on the product on the field, because when those boys are getting tired, those drums and chants start coming through and they just get fired up.
Yeah. So let's get to talking about our boys in red and black from last season. You know, last season, my God, you couldn't ask for anything more magical, especially for a city that, you know, hasn't really had a sports scene at all. You know, you have like kids sports and stuff like that, but we have never really had a professional team. We had a baseball team back in like, what, the 50s, something like that. And I don't really know much about that, but I know as long as I've lived in the Wiregrass, you know, you go to Troy for college matches, you go to FSU, and, you know, you go to Auburn occasionally. And then other than that, you got to drive to like Birmingham, Atlanta, Pensacola, places like that. And now we've finally got our club.
Yeah.
You know, Dothan United SC, the Dragons of the Wiregrass. I know you hate to hear that, Patrick, the Dragons, but I love it.
I'm not a big fan of mascots in football. I'm just not. I can't help it.
Hey, bring the smoke, baby. Bring the smoke. But, you know, let's talk a little bit about our boys. You know, what was y'all's experience last season in the inaugural season of Dothan United?
I think, you know, what stood out to me was how quickly, when we started, you know, hearing about the players and the ones that are coming, and, you know, if you remember that first preseason, I don't know, it just you could start to feel it then. Like, the players came in and, you know, almost all of them bought in. I think that, you know, speaks a lot to leadership and coaching, you know, Coach Carl. But and then we in turn fed off of them, and it just, from the beginning, it just felt like we got your back, they got our back. Yeah. You know, it just had that sense of kind of unity and pride, you know.
Yeah. Coach Carl makes a huge point of saying it's a privilege to play for Dothan, because honestly, we've been through this with the coaches, the ownership, and everybody. it's a family, and the players that came in, at least most of them, I'd say 98% of them at least bought into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they would bleed red and black day in and day out.
Yeah.
So that I'm in agreement with Juan again, just how quickly everything could come together, because last year was rushed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Putting the club together, getting the schedule, getting the product on the field, and we still barely missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
Coach did and his coach Carl and his team of coaches, they all did such a great job getting everybody bought in and on the same page, and the ownership team, Steve, Eric, all of them, just great
and you
product.
can tell that, obviously Coach and them cared a lot, because, obviously it was an up and down season, right? Like, but man, it was like that story getting told, right, of up and down, but the whole time, Coach and his staff, like, they made changes when they needed to. They went and got, other players. Like, they never settled for anything less than excellence. And even though sometimes the results didn't show, like, you could see the fight, and we never just laid down, right? Like, it was always a fight, So I think that was really awesome to see too.
And I think one thing that was really impressive was, talking about bringing the guys in that they needed to bring in. They didn't just bring in people who were talented players. You see that with a lot of clubs. They just bring in guys who are super quick or, able to pass really well, or, they're able to play really well. But they brought in the right character guys. Mm-hmm. And doing that on a rush season and doing it mid-season too, that was really incredible. A little bit of lore on the Inferno. I checked it the other day. Do you know that we created our Facebook page right at the end of February? And we started the season, let's see, what was our first match? May 11th. So right around 2 months, they were able to put together that team. That's insane.
That is. Wow. And that just makes me more excited for this season now that we've had, we actually get in a whole off season. Coach gets in a whole off season to put together, something special. And I'm just excited.
Yeah. A little birdie told me that Coach is in town, so Coach is at work.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm ready.
Vamos.
Vamos. Vamos, Dragones. So what players stood out to y'all last season?
I think right off the bat for me, thinking about going through the season, obviously there's a lot of players we liked, right?
Oh, yeah.
But, man, Alec.
Yeah.
Alec Palanjan, homegrown
guy. Man.
Yeah.
Like, man, when he started getting some more playing minutes, like, you just knew, like, okay. Like, Coach obviously sees something in him, and we saw it right off the bat. And that was so cool. Like, just for Coach to be able to make adjustment, and it ends up being, a homegrown guy. Like,
yeah.
It was like a double whammy. Like, oh, man, go Coach, go Alec,
Look, we root for all of our guys equally, but there's some of them that we root for a little bit harder. And, those are our homegrown guys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
But
for sure, it was great seeing the homegrowns that were able to get out there, like Alec, especially. He really got to show out. And I know one of the other homegrowns is one of your favorites.
Gabino,
he was phenomenal too. I loved seeing it when I can't remember which game it was, but where there was a penalty that was awarded to Dothan, and Nico grabbed the ball and handed it to Gabino for him to get a goal in front of the hometown crowd. Like that was a moment.
Well, let's also not gloss over one of your two favorite players. Well, the favorite player of you two guys, Nico. Nico has a special place in our heart.
He always will, especially, being on the first roster for Dothan United, just we ended up finding, me and Patrick, we found his TikTok. And that's honestly what really drew me to Nico. You watch his TikToks and, super smart guy. Like, it just seems like one of those guys that just, like, does whatever he needs to do.
Yeah.
Just absolute work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then there's a whole list of players we could go down.
I'm not going to let another second slide by, though.
You got to bring him up.
Without mentioning Mr. MVP.
Reese Harrison.
Reese Harrison. Reese Harrison.
Bum, bum, bum.
No, you could hear it that time. The crowd wasn't so loud.
Dude,
Reese.
what a foot he has, man.
Yeah.
Man,
Like some of those
curlers
ball ends and those-
from outside of the
man.
box.
soon to be 2-time Dothan MVP.
All his goals were, I mean, all the goals were exciting, but his, man, they just, and like a lot of his goals I remember came at moments where like we needed it. Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
was, you know,
Like we were saying for a little while that Reese cannot score a goal unless it's an absolute banger.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, he doesn't do tap ins. He's going to hit you from like 10
You don't
yards
see-
outside
you
of the
don't see
box
it
on a
coming.
curler.
Well, that's what made it exciting is, first of all, we didn't know that was coming. So his first few goals, we were like, what in the world? And then we started to expect it. Then when you knew when he had open space in the field, like it was a chance it was going to go in, you know?
Yeah.
So that was exciting.
But we got a whole list of guys like the Fernandez boys.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got Alexander Blanche, you got Yago.
Mhm.
You know, but I really want to highlight one particular player who is also very near and dear to our hearts, who I think probably improved the most over this past season, and that is Jordan Schumacher. We need to talk about him.
He did.
Yes.
He came in whenever we were in a bad way,
Yeah.
and he came in and he was able to step up and play at a high caliber.
Oh, yeah.
And I sincerely hope that he is coming back this next season.
Yeah, we love us some Jordan Shoe.
Also,
sure.
his mom is super nice.
Oh,
She
yeah.
is.
Yes.
She is.
Yeah, she's super nice. But what are some players
And
that y'all...
we got to take us an Inferno road trip to Nolans to go to her cafe down there and get us
Yeah,
some
we
good
do.
food one day.
If y'all don't know, Jordan Schumacher's mom owns a cafe down in New Orleans. And, you know, she had a little setback with the cafe. And thankfully...
Vandals.
Yeah, with some vandals, but thankfully it's up and running now, and we got to make a road trip down there because
sure.
the food looks
I'm down.
great.
Mm-hmm.
But we also got to plan some other road trips for this upcoming season, which we'll get to
Yeah,
when
we
the
do.
schedule releases.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. All right, so 2024, our inaugural season, we ended up going 4-4-4, which means 4 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses, and we went 2-3-1 at home and 2-1-3 away last season. You know, we barely missed the playoffs, which is incredible in its own sense. You know, for your inaugural season to just barely miss out on the playoffs.
Sure.
Like, we were in the hunt up until, like, the last match.
You know what's funny is that last match felt like we won the season.
It really did.
Didn't it? Like,
We didn't
I mean,
even
to come
win the
from
match,
3-0. Yeah, to come from 3-0 down and honestly give us 5 more minutes, we would have had a 4th goal. Like,
Oh, yeah.
no
Sure.
doubt.
Yeah.
Like, once they found that groove and, you know, we had those things happen in the beginning of that match, that crazy foul on, you know, center pitch, and you know, it set up that goal for them, and it kind of just got us off on that little rocky start. But
Right.
man, when after halftime, like, it was so
electric.
much fun. Like, that was the most fun, you know, it's just to see them just play well. And like I said, really, to me, came close for another goal. But that's honestly how most of the season felt to me.
And we need to talk about that experience of that last match for a little bit.
Oh, man.
You know, because going into the halftime, we were down 3-0, you know, and, you know, we saw the guys coming off the pitch and, you know, we told them, like, hey, you got this. We believe in you. And I don't know what coach did in that locker room. Gave him some of Mike's special juice from Space Jam, you know, gave him some of that. And they came out and
Man, on
they just
fire.
walked all over them.
Yeah.
It was electric. I mean, I remember that feeling of just, I mean, we're definitely still supporting our boys. Like, it was like, we were like, yeah, come on, you got this. But come on, inside, we were like, oh, man, this sucks.
Yeah,
like, we're in a bad
Tough.
spot.
Yeah. Seeing them come off the pitch at the halftime whistle and everything, you know, realistic in me wanted to be like, man, this is how we're going out this year.
Yeah.
But then the craziness of us being who we are just wouldn't let it happen. So I'm hanging over the railing, you know, yelling at every single one of them. It ain't over.
Mhm.
There's 45 minutes left. And then they came out, and, man, whatever they had in that locker room at halftime, we all need some.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look.
Dragon juice.
Hey, that stuff was great. I love that.
Man. Mm.
That dragon punch from concessions, it was great. But
Shout out Chef Kim.
shout out Chef Kim. But look, if we stuck it through that terrible, awful, wet, go to church game, you know, I think we're going to stick it through with them no matter what.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
always.
We set the precedence at tryouts even. We stood out there in the pouring rain.
Sure did.
Yeah.
At tryouts, we showed them from the get-go, you know, hey, we're here regardless.
We're serious.
Yeah. But, man, that was an incredible game.
And then to end it with, obviously, you know, the obvious, like the players coming over, having that moment with all the fans, dude.
Yeah, then
I mean, if
chant.
you haven't watched that video, like, it's on Facebook everywhere. Like, you can literally just type it in, it'll pop up somewhere. Yeah. But that was such an awesome moment to just, like, you know, it's a big thank you, you know, from us to them to us. Yeah. Like, it was just, it was awesome.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, at the end of the season, at the end of the last match, whenever they came back, we had talked with Coach Carl, and we had talked with some of the guys about them leading a chant at the end of the match. And they came over, and we handed them the megaphone, and they led their own chant that they created. And it was the most electric, heartwarming, you name it, feeling of all time. Like, I'm not going to lie to you boys. I'll be a little bit vulnerable on here. I cried whenever the fireworks went off at the end of the season. I straight up cried.
Awesome.
Awesome. I think we all
and you know what I love
a few tears that last game.
You know what I love too? Like, seeing all the kids, man. Like, all the kids, all the families, like, just, oh, man, melts your heart, you know? Like,
even with that the chant that we were just talking about with the players, Yago was up at the railing grabbing kids and bringing them down on the pitch with the players.
Look, I'm going to expose the guys a little bit. Not you guys, but the boys in red and black. I'm going to expose them a little bit. Whenever you go back and you watch that video of them leading the chant, one of the kids gets knocked down. And, like, I'm not going to lie, I laugh a little bit at it. Like, the kid was fine. They picked the kid up, but it was a little bit funny. But, man, it was...
It happens.
It happens. Passion. It's passion.
But you know what? I'll go ahead and say it. Dothan is a soccer city.
Yes.
Dude.
Dothan is a soccer city.
Amen.
Yeah.
The end. See y'all later.
Anyways, thanks for joining us. I'm kidding.
Football.
But, yeah, Dothan's a soccer city, and it's going to be crazy to see this thing grow. What do you guys think we're going to have attendance-wise next season?
You know, hopefully we continue to grow, you know, like we did good this past season. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we've really only touched the surface in terms of, you know, Dothan's population, you know, so, and the Wiregrass population. So really, you know, the more the merrier. That's how I look at it. You know, everyone in the stands, it's awesome because when the club scores a goal, you just look at whoever's around you and give a big high five, and like everyone's hugging each other. I've never seen this person, but you know what? Doesn't matter. High five, like, and that's how it is. It's just like everyone's just like one big family, you know, supporting our club.
Just absolute limbs everywhere after a goal. It's amazing with the red lights coming on, and man, there's no just flashing back. There's no feeling like it. I would love to see us average 5,000 a game.
Yeah.
Of course, we would love to fill out Rip Hughes, but, you know, I mean, being realistic, if we can at least average 5K a game, that's going to blow most of the attendance out of the water for other USL teams in our league. So I would love to see at least that, but I think it's just going to keep growing. Like, I know y'all saw the map and stuff that Steve had put out that one time that showed where the ticket sales had come from, and it wasn't even just centered around the Wiregrass. No. I mean, it's centered around the southeast.
Well, not even just the southeast, like the entire country. They had ticket sales all the way up in Kentucky.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, man, I consider Kentucky somewhat south.
What is the South? But, like, you know, whenever I think southeast, I think, like, Bama, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi. But either way, neither here nor there.
Yeah. Like, and then you think again, you've got people, you know, maybe we're not ready to come out for a game last year. They didn't know what was going to happen, anything else. We had all these people come experience it for the first time. They're now going to bring other people to experience it for the first time this next season. And once they experience it for the first time, guess what they're going to do?
They're going to bring more people.
Exactly. It's going to grow exponentially.
And not only that, but the team did a fantastic job of outreach.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they did good marketing. And they did really good on connecting with the community. I know that they worked on getting some people to the games for free, and that's really what you need. You need people to get a taste of it. Then they'll want to come back later and come with their own wallet, per se. But even then, the tickets aren't expensive.
No, they're not.
That's also helps like a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, what, $12? Something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another thing I love seeing too, mentioning community outreach and getting people in, seeing a lot of the Von Bloomberg patients being there in the handicap accessible part, which is amazing seatage, by the way, directly center pitch.
We would know. We've been there.
Yeah. Seeing them there, that was great. They were having the time of their lives. Like, I was throwing them like little squishy soccer balls from the team giveaways at halftime, and they were living life and loving it.
Yeah. But I really think attendance is going to take a major step up. I don't even know if we're prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really do see us filling out Rip Hughes one time next season. Especially, like, I'm going to be a little bit of Nostradamus here. I see it happening towards the end of the season if we're doing well. I see us filling out Rip Hughes.
For sure. I mean, it's not a secret that, when your team wins, people are going to come. Like, you know, and so that's what I think is so awesome about this last season is, for our first season, we were pretty much even, right? Like, we didn't, win a ton of games, but we still kept attendance numbers. I think that speaks volumes because of how people were excited. So you add a little success, and man, I don't think we're gonna have an issue. So
I think you also have to look at our lowest, which our lowest had to have been the go to church, just because of the weather.
I don't even count that. Yeah, because it's just like.
But the thing is, like in the tunnel, we still had like tons of people there waiting. Yeah, at least for an hour. I mean, and it wasn't until they finally like kept pushing it when people finally, okay, I've accepted it. And we didn't even know the match was still going to happen, until like 30 minutes before. Oh yeah, we're just waiting for lightning. We have to have the match pretty much. Yeah.
So worked out for us because I really wanted to see a match. And man, that was a good time. I mean,
Yeah, it was because honestly, it rained harder under the bleachers than it probably was in the pitch, and we were just all up under there waiting, staying away from the lightning.
Fun fact: if you come to a match next season and it starts raining, there is no cover under the concrete bleachers with gaps.
Yeah, you are not safe.
No.
So the best thing is probably just go back to sit in your car and just wait it out.
Yeah.
Or you can come hang with us because we'll probably always just be
same as we did last rain delay. We'll be in the concourse doing chants and getting wet.
I was gonna say, did y'all remember when we just busted out in chants like, let's kill time, let's do something? So that was fun.
But at some point you just got to accept being soaked. I remember the worst thing, at least from my perspective, after that match was whenever we went back out there and we tried to do the flags, because we have little brackets on our flags that you see. They're giant PVC pipes, and they have these rotating brackets on it. Well, the water had got in there, and it got a little rusted, and the flags were also soaking wet, so they were about like 10 pounds heavier than they used to be. And so just trying to whip that around back and forth, it was a struggle. I got an arm workout that day.
Yeah. It was something else, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It was. I probably gained 10 pounds in the lucha mask that match too from rainwater.
Yeah, but you also lost it by sweating it out in that lucha mask.
Exactly.
Yeah, boy. There was some hot matches.
There were some real hot ones.
Dress light during the summer. It's still awesome though.
The best piece of merch that you can get besides a Circle City Inferno tank top is a Dothan United tank top.
Yes.
Or a moisture wicking shirt. It's hot out there, but it's so worth it.
And cooling towels.
Cooling towels are a lifesaver.
Tank tops and cooling towels, the only thing that kept me out of heat stroke.
Yeah.
Because we're serious about what we do. We don't just sit around and yay, boo. We're nonstop.
Yeah, we're screaming. We're beating on drums.
Losing our voices.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one game, it may have been the East Atlanta game. I think it was the East Atlanta game. I could not talk for like 3 days. And when I finally could halfway talk, it was just like that. My voice was done.
Your vocal cords are going to get warmed back up too for the season.
I wonder why your vocal cords are done for that game.
I don't know what could have happened during that game to make my vocal cords get raw.
Yeah, there's no wonder.
All I remember is a goalkeeper. That's all I remember.
Yeah, all I remember is something about like a video or something that East Atlanta may have posted. That's all I remember.
Enjoying our fireworks a little too much, but hey, that's
like you didn't buy those.
You know what I love most about that match though is
What?
like, man, that's when I like, man, the players have our backs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the players got so angry. You know, if you weren't at the match, you know, few scuffles happened, but the players had our backs. That's the end.
Yes, it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. We found out that they have our backs, and they found out that we have their backs. That solidified the relationship right there.
Red and black until we die.
That's it. Bleed red and black.
What was y'all's most memorable part of last season? For me, it's got to be that last match.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to top that, really. I mean, you know, and I think, you know, off mic, you know, we've talked about this before, but, you know, when we stood toe-to-toe against Asheville, the first match, you know, I mean, that was also like,
that was a
all
tone
right,
setter.
hey, we in the big leagues now, you know, for USL too. Like, we can do this. Like, you know, up until that point, I think it was still like, you know, what is this team made of, you know? And to come out with a 0-0 against the best team, I mean, they ended up going, 2-3 rounds into the playoffs?
Yeah.
So that spoke volumes to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many moments, and we've gone through some of them already. The go-to-church rivalry match with Birmingham with the rain delay and everybody sticking it out. The East Atlanta match. But the whole season is a great memory. But it comes down to that last match. The fight the boys showed.
Mm-hmm.
The celebration of family after.
Yeah.
With everything that happened, and just nobody wanted to leave the stadium that night. We all stayed super late.
Yeah.
The fans, the players, the ownership, everybody just stayed because we didn't want it to be over.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment. And I think it really solidified, you know, Dothan's a soccer city. What do we have to look forward to next year? Well, this year, because we're in 2025.
2025.
We're only a couple months away.
Man, isn't that crazy? Like,
Yeah.
we've got through the toughest part, which is like that 6-month span of just, you know, nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm super excited, man. You know, I'm looking forward to the same things from last year times a million.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting a schedule release, should be any day
Very
now.
soon, yeah.
Yeah. From what we heard, we're recording this on, sorry, I'm looking at my watch. We're recording this on February 14th.
January 14th.
January 14th. My bad. My brain is mush. I apologize.
The man's trying to make it Valentine's Day already.
Oh, Lord, no. I still got to do some preparations for that. But it's January 14th. We should be getting the schedule release any day now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, whenever we do, we'll come back and we'll have another episode, and we're going to talk about, you know, the matchups that we really need to keep our eye on. And then we're also planning on doing episodes talking about upcoming matchups later in the season. But I don't know. We've only got, maybe 3 months, 4 months until the season starts. And then it's go time, baby. It's go time.
Yep. You know, when we start finally getting the player news, oh man, that's what's gonna make
We're
it.
gonna go
just-
crazy.
It's gonna make it real. Like, oh man, and you finally get to put, you know, faces on. You know, all right, this is our team. You know?
Yeah.
These are our boys that we will live and die for.
And I don't know about y'all, but you know, being an actual soccer and sports fan, I mean, what do you do when you start finding out what players, especially new players? Go look them up.
Exactly.
start seeing what we're getting. You know, I like to
Turn
know.
to a stalker
you know?
real quick when you
really
get a new
do.
signing.
Oh, but
That's
you
how
know,
we
that's
found
what makes
Nico's
it, yeah,
TikTok last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun, though. You know, you get to know the players, and you know they take the identity almost of the area, the team, you know. And what's also fun about that is obviously a lot of our players are, you know, international too. So that makes it that much better because it's just all these, you know, cultures come together on one team, you know, on one club. And so I think that's also the amazing part about our team specifically. Yeah,
and we get to learn a bit about, you know, where they're from. They get to learn about where we're from. And that's insane, you know, that just soccer can bring people together like that.
Yeah, hey, it's a beautiful game for a reason.
Absolutely.
Football.
But
football is life.
But players, if you do sign with us and you are listening to this, follow us on Instagram. You know, we want to keep up with you and we want to, you know, keep track of what you're doing. Post on Instagram. Let us know. Let us be stalkers.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were going somewhere different with that because the first thing that came to my mind was just like, you know, players, you're coming, and the first thing I thought of, score goals.
Well, yeah, score goals for us, please.
Stop them from scoring them.
Oh man,
you know that's what I'm looking forward to the most in 2025 is scoring more goals.
Yes. We want to celebrate, and we want to celebrate with you.
Yeah.
Yep. We want goals, but we want wins.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
we want wins. I don't care if we win 1-0.
That's fine.
That's better than 5-3. Just give me wins.
Yeah. That's fine. Just come out here, have fun. You know, more than anything, have fun, play a good game, win us some games. That's all we care about. And we'll celebrate with you and we'll cry with you every step of the way.
I mean, last year was proof in the pudding that we're there, win, lose, or draw.
Absolutely.
Rain or shine, we're there for you. So you don't have to doubt us ever.
We went through heat waves. We went through rain. We went through everything. The only thing we didn't go through was freezing cold, which it is right now outside. But I don't think we're going to have that happen because USL2 is a summer league. And I don't know. But, well, all right, guys. Thank you for tuning into Season 1, Episode 1 of Into the Inferno podcast.
All it takes is a spark.
Yeah, I put a funny little title at the top of our sheet. But thank you for listening. Please follow us to keep up with all the latest talk around Dothan United because we're going to talk about everything that comes out. You know, things we hear about players, things we hear about coaching staff, about other teams. You know, our next episode is going to be about the schedule coming out. And then after that, we're going to start going down the list and looking at teams. And so if you want to kind of get a feel for how the rest of USL2 and how the rest of the South Central Division is doing, then follow us. Follow Circle City Inferno on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if you're interested in joining the Circle City Inferno, we'd love to have you. I will have links for all of our websites and stuff on our social media. If it's not on there, it's group.chant.fan/circlecityinferno. And you will find out everything you need to know about us, and you can join through our website. But we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you listening to our podcast. But more than anything, just show up and show out for our boys in red and black. Show up for our Dragons. You know, more than anything, we just want our team to succeed.
Yep.
And we want soccer and we want sports in Dothan to go well. That's why we're doing this whole supporters group thing.
Exactly.
And like Sky mentioned earlier, don't just let us do our thing. Be a part of our thing.
Yeah, come join us. We want you there. Even if you don't join as a member right away, come join us.
Yes.
Just have fun.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
But thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for our next episode, which should be fairly soon. And we will catch you next time on Into the Inferno.
And remember, vamos Dragones.
Vamos Dragones.
Vamos, DHN.